River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
Oh, right. That seemed like it ended abruptly. How we doing, everybody? Welcome to a Friday episode of Niner Nuts. Dan here along with Easy E. Still no James, taking the holiday week off. Happy holidays, everybody, especially if you celebrated Christmas yesterday. Happy Hanukkah. I know it started the other day, too. And happy holidays, everybody. How are you doing, Easy E?
Hey, doing great, man. Celebrated Christmas with my family. We had a great time. Everybody had a blast. You can see that the tree is empty now behind me. So everybody has been, celebrated and had, tons of gifts given to them. So
Yeah, same on my end. Good holiday for everybody. And the holidays keep on rolling. Tomorrow is my wife's birthday. Well, today, you all listening today is my wife's birthday. So shout out to her.
oh, man, that makes it really awkward for you for having to pick out like gifts.
Mm-hmm. I got it down though. 4 years into this, I got it down now.
There you go.
And, yeah, no, we were fully aware of her. It's in the holiday taint, we call it. So it is a very unfortunate time. But luckily today is a Friday, so get the whole Friday night to take her out and just make the most of the birthday. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh no, and I got some good gifts coming her way. Just wait.
There you go.
But onward to the show. We're not recapping games that have already happened. We're going to go ahead and save that for later because half the games have already happened, including one that's happening in 30 minutes from when we're taping this. So we'll recap those games then. But what we're going to do is still give you what's left of the games in a special holiday parlay. We went ahead and made one, and I got it all right here. And we're going all out on this one. We got quite a few to get through. And again, of course, the holiday games are not involved in this. These are all Sunday and Monday. Let's go ahead and start here at the top with the Bengals going to Cincinnati. If you asked me about this game a couple days ago, like you did, I was fairly confident that the Bengals should take care of the Broncos, but I am leaning like a little bit. This game being a part of the Saturday triple header, the Bengals can and have blown many a game where they should not have, and Joe Burrow has been literally superhuman and still found a way to lose. And the Broncos want to make the playoffs. They want to get this rookie and get Sean Payton into the playoffs. So this is probably going to be a pretty damn exciting game. But for our betting purposes, Joe Burrow, 225 seems to have been the line the entire year, and he's gone over it like basically every time. So pretty easy for us to like, you know what, this will more than likely hit Joe Burrow over 225.
Yeah, I mean, if he's playing in this game, he's going to go over in this line. I mean, my only concern with this game would be as if they pull him for some reason. That would be my only concern because the game actually doesn't really matter to the Bengals at this point. That's the only thing because the Broncos have to lose to the Bengals and to the Chiefs next week, but the Chiefs are going to be resting everyone next week, so it seems very unlikely that the Broncos would lose next week. So this game kind of irrelevant. But if Burrow plays, he'll throw for 225. He'll probably throw for a couple of touchdowns. I didn't like betting Chase this week to go for 50 or 60 yards just because Surtain, however you say his last name, might be following him around. And if so, that could potentially really limit him this week. So I didn't really like the Chase bet so much. And I didn't really like the touchdown passing bet that much just because of that as well. But the yards should still be there. They got to move the football.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that front. Like Higgins will probably have a really good game But yeah, no, they're not going to pull Burrow. They're still going to fight as hard as they can. I understand what you mean, though. The Broncos basically like have it in the bag. So I don't know. The Bengals are still going to go down swinging, it seems like. And then the coach apparently is BFFs with the ownership, so he's definitely not going to get fired. So that sucks. But you know what? Yeah, it's an ownership problem. So as we know with the Bengals. But moving onward to the Sunday at 1:00, Aaron Rodgers going to Buffalo for a division game. Some was in the water in Buffalo last week. Some was in the water against New England, and Josh just was not having it. So I'm not assuming that the Jets will pull an upset. If a game is going to be the trap game, I wouldn't be surprised if it was this one, but I cannot see Buffalo really taking this game off, even though the number 1 seed is locked in already. I feel like the Bills are still going to try to hang on to that number 2 seed, and they're not going to want to end the season on a low note. And the Jets are clearly easily beatable. They're playing better, too little, too late, but I don't know. I could see this being a real dogfight, especially like as we preach all season. It's a division game too, even though we know the Jets are out, we know the Bills are in. Having it at a -2.5 alternate spread seems comfortable because the Bills should still win this game. Like, agreed?
Yeah, the Bills should definitely win this game, and we just altered it down just because the money line didn't really present any really good value, and the spread itself was, I think, 7.5. So that wasn't really a great spread either. The Bills still have something to play for in this particular game. They're playing for the number 2 seed. I mean, it's not number 1. It doesn't give you the bye. It doesn't give you the day off. But it does give you, the next best chance of home field advantage through the playoffs if the Chiefs get knocked off for some reason. And that's going to be important to Buffalo. They want as many home field games as they possibly can. So they're definitely going to stick with it. They're definitely going to play hard. They're definitely going to want to, beat the Jets as well because, everybody was talking about how the Jets were going to just take away this division and run with it and everything like that as well. And so I think there's something to be said there too. Excuse me. Covering the 2.5 spread should be pretty easy there. I think them winning by a field goal makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little iffy on this one. Not enough to say we shouldn't have had it, but again, the Bills have more to play for. But the Jets, Aaron wouldn't mind playing spoiler, I could tell, and the Jets. I don't know. They still only scored 9 points last week, so there's absolutely no reason. But the Bills barely beat the Pats last week, so we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully they just stomp the Jets, and then we can just be happy Aaron Rodgers lost again. On to the next game, though. We got 2 passers in a row. We have a lot of passers in this week's ticket, y'all. The next one is my boy Baker, heartbreaker. Absolute heartbreaker against the Cowboys. Wasn't even his fault. White literally dropped the ball for him. But they're still not out of it. They just have to win out, and the Falcons have to lose out for them to flip it. And it's doable. It's possible because the Falcons are the Falcons. But they're playing host to the Panthers. And when they were in Carolina last time they played, it went into overtime. And they won because Chuba Hubbard fumbled at the worst possible time in overtime. And so this game, I don't know, Carolina, outside of their Dallas game, they've been playing pretty good this back half of the season, despite their record. And I'm sure they would love to play spoiler to Tampa, especially the heartbreaking way they lost last time. But for the betting purposes, Baker over 200 yards, he's pretty much a lock for that. I will fight tooth and nail that he should hit 200 yards unless he gets like a concussion or a broken wrist. Like there's no reason to think Baker, because he's a gunslinger. Win or loss, Baker is going to throw the crap out of the ball if he can help it.
Yeah, since the last 2.5 months, Baker's thrown for at least 200 yards in every game but one, which is the game against us. So seems pretty likely that he's going to hit that number. Divisional game, they've got to win to stay alive. going to be a lot of pressure. And Tampa moves the ball through the air quite a bit. So, and I anticipate a good amount of points being scored in this game as well. I forget what the over was in this particular game, but
definitely pick whatever the line is, go over. Like this game will be based on how it went last time. This game will be a shootout.
Yeah. So, with that concept in mind, I feel that Baker going for over 200 should be pretty much a slam dunk.
And prayers that they get into the wild card. I don't want this team to miss the playoffs. I really like these guys more than the Falcons.
Who doesn't like them more than the Falcons? I mean, Falcons are terrible.
Oh God, they just we don't have enough time to break down exactly everything that's going wrong with them. But so onward to the next game. It's the Packers going to the Vikings. Oh my God. I am going to be this is Sunday, not Saturday. I'm going to try. I do have something I'm doing on Sunday, but I'm going to try my best to watch this game if I can help it. The Packers in Minnesota should be the game of the week, being 4:30. I'd be shocked if this wasn't the Tom Brady game. There is quite a bit on the line for Minnesota trying to overtake the Lions. They're both in the playoffs. Like, we know these are both wildcard teams, so this could even be an actual playoff preview. And this is how it would be. Minnesota would be over them. But the Packers want to make noise and say that they deserve to be in the playoffs. The Vikings, they want to shut up doubters like us that still see chinks in their armor. And Sam Darnold, he looked awesome. Sam Darnold looked awesome last week. And this is going to be a real test for both of them. See if either of them can get over the hump. And for our ticket, we're putting Sam Darnold over 200, which really, why not? Like, even if they do blow this game between Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, the best wide receiver currently in the league, not named Jamar Chase, this should be very, very doable.
Yeah, I think when we had Darnold going for over 200 last week in our parlay, I think we said they'd hit it like every line except for like once this season or something like that. So, I mean, it seems very likely that he's going to go over 200. This game, again, is another one that I anticipate being quite a bit of a shootout. Both these teams are capable of putting up a lot of points. I know that, the Vikings defense has been really good and really solid all season. The Packers defense is sneaky good too, but I just don't see this being a defensive, kind of a stalwart of a game. I just think that both these offenses are going to be able to score and put up points. I don't think it's going to be, anything crazy like, 45, 40 or anything like that or whatever. But, a 27, 21 or, something like that type of game is certainly doable for this. And I think if that happens, I think Darnold easily throws for 200.
Oh, yeah. No, he wants to get Coach O'Donnell Coach of the Year by the way that he is producing. Like, Minnesota does not. They circled this game. Did they? Can you pull up real quick how that last one went? Because I know it was like week 3. Like, I know it was really early in the season, and I know they're not the same teams.
Oh, Minnesota won. I know that because the Vikings or the Packers lost to them.
And the Vikings. Oh, they almost. Did they come back or did they almost blow it? Because I know it started.
The Vikings started off 28-0.
That was it. Yeah, They almost blew it. That's right. The Packers almost came back. That's right.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, it's 31-29. Vikings started off 28-0 before the Packers scored with like 15 seconds left to go in the second quarter.
And then they almost blew it. So hopefully this game will be just as exciting.
Yep.
And then our next game, pretty straightforward. The Cowboys are going to the Eagles, the big rivalry of the NFC East. And yeah, there's no reason to think that Philly isn't going to go all out to beat these Cowboys, and there's no reason they shouldn't. Like, whoop-de-doo, Cowboys beat Tampa, whoop-de-doo. But the Cowboys are going into this game without CeeDee Lamb, because I don't know if you saw that CeeDee Lamb got shut down because of his shoulder.
I did, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know if you have to remind me if we got a good line on this or not before that news came out. But if you're listening to this now, sorry, the odds for the Eagles just skyrocketed. But yeah, no, easy. This should be an absolutely easy win. The Eagles, they're dealing with a couple injuries themselves, but they're not as nearly in dire shape as Dallas. It doesn't matter the rivalry; they should outclass them like in every way.
Yeah, the only big concern that I have for this game is whether or not Hurts is going to play or not. They still haven't said whether he's in or not this week, and so that's my biggest concern. But even still, if Kenny Pickett plays, the Eagles should have enough talent to beat a Dallas Cowboys team that, quite frankly, will likely have given up in this particular game. They're not going to have a lot to play for, and they don't have anything to play for because they're eliminated for the playoffs. So they should just be shutting, people down unless they really want to play, spoiler for the Eagles, which, I don't know how much that means to a lot of those guys on that roster or not. But,
Means a lot more to the fans than probably the team. I'll agree.
I would think so. So, as long as Hurts plays for sure, I'd feel real good about this. If Pickett plays, then I feel less certain, but still positive that it'll occur.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that going either way. Like, do they want to play in the long term and just assume that Pickett is good enough? I mean, they're still in the playoffs anyway, so like, do we want to? Yeah, hopefully Hurts still plays though. Like, especially now we got this locked in.
Yeah.
Our next game is an NFC West battle. This, you'll have to tell me if this will actually lock in the Rams. I feel like this would actually not. Depending on how the game goes in an hour, this will lock in the Rams because if the Seahawks lose to the Bears, this game should be locking. Like, this should be a win and in for the Rams if the Seahawks lose in an hour.
Correct.
So the Rams are cheering loud for the Bears. That's how evergreen we are. We don't know, but the Rams more than likely. Well, actually, no, the Bears shouldn't win that game. The Rams are going to try to win the NFC West, though, and the Rams are poised to win the NFC West. That's a bigger point. And the Cardinals have hit the ground and are just kind of skidding. Like they've been eliminated. They would like to play spoiler to the Rams, but we don't think there's any reason that the Rams will lose this game. They are hot at the right moment. I've been saying that for the last 3 weeks now. And Matthew Stafford should throw 200 yards. He's been less liable to throw that much lately, but I feel like that's more of Kyron Williams and other factors because Kyron Williams is awesome. But him throwing for 200 yards and taking the money line seems like we're pretty confident that this will happen.
Yeah, I mean,
or I guess I should say Stafford 225. Like, he's not throwing 300 yards consistently, but he's getting it done.
Yeah, I mean, I feel real good about things in terms of what you said as far as the money line goes, for sure. I mean, the Rams are playing for their playoff destiny. They control everything out in front of them. If they win their last 2 games, they're in for sure. They
win out, they're definitely in.
Yeah, because they've got Cardinals this week, and then as you noted, if Seattle beats the Bears tonight, then their game next week versus Seattle is for the division. So they'd like to be able to stay firmly in control of that. Stafford, the last couple weeks, facing the Niners in that slop fest of a game, and then facing the Jets, has actually not thrown for over 200. But for the most part of the season, with the exception of those 2 games, there's only been 2 others that he hasn't thrown for at least 200 yards in this season. So what is that? 16 games. He's thrown 12 of them. He's thrown for 200 yards. So seems pretty logical that he'll do it again, especially against a defense that isn't very scary out there in terms of the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, no, they should. I don't know. The Cardinals seem like that once maybe 2 weeks ago before they got officially eliminated. That's when the floor finally fell out for them. And sure, they play hard, and like we said, they have pieces, but it's just not clicking, not coming together right for them. So, the Rams, they're hot right now, and they want to upset everybody and make it into the West because we left them for dead back in October, and now look at them. I mean, you can argue that the West itself is pretty trash, but but speaking of the West, our last picks here, we just went all out and we're selling out. We're not giving any faith, and this will be a good segue into previewing our game against the Lions a little bit.
Sure.
The Lions are going to San Francisco for Monday night football. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, I'm so sorry you have to call this game. I really wish this got flexed out. It should have, but it's the holiday time, and this schedule was already so wonky with the Christmas games. Thursday, triple header Sunday, like, yeah, we just got the short straw. And well, on paper, it should have been an epic rematch of last year's NFC Championship. Is now going to be a reverse Dan and the Lions Den, where the Niners are Dan and will be obliterated by the Lions, or at least we're predicting that, because we're taking the money line. Jahmyr Gibbs looked perfectly comfortable being in the back, taking all the lion's share, pun intended. And with no Drake Greenlaw on the field, it's going to be easier. The defensive line is not great. They'll be super easy. We're bad at covering running backs lately. And then Jared Goff, he's definitely going to get 2 passing touchdowns. There's no reason to think he won't. And then George Kittle, he's literally it. If the Lions pass rush doesn't smoke Purdy, which he's athletic enough, he maybe will take like 2 sacks because he seemingly always takes 2 sacks. But George Kittle is like it. I'm not assuming Debo's going to go off again. I was pleasantly surprised, but I'm not assuming he will again. So Kittle over 50. These, I don't know. We agree that these 3 seem all very, very feasible and believable to happen.
Yeah, I mean, just addressing the betting aspect of it, I mean, I think it's very safe to assume that the Lions are going to win this game. This would be an absolute stunner of an upset if the 49ers were able to beat the Lions. I mean, when you look at kind of like the tiers of teams this season and where everybody sits upon, the proverbial throne, the Lions are right there at the top. I mean, they're leading the NFC. They're the number 1 seed right now. The Niners aren't even in the playoffs. They're completely eliminated, and they're going to have a losing season. So, just looking at those 2 things on paper, you would certainly expect the Lions are going to walk away with this game. And then when you just start looking at the injuries and the way the 49ers played over the last few weeks, it just doesn't seem, and you look at the way the Lions have been playing over the last few weeks, it just doesn't seem like it's a good matchup for the Niners. So Lions on the money line here. Gibbs getting the touchdown, that's a pretty simple ask, I think. The Lions are pretty notorious for getting down inside that 5-yard line, and they'll just pound the rock and try to get in the end zone that way by running the ball. And plus Gibbs catches a lot of screen passes too, so he's crafty down there in the red zone, and they don't really have anybody else to hand it off to. So it seems very likely that he would score. Goff getting 2 passing touchdowns. I think you think, like I do, Dan, this is going to be a revenge game for the Lions, and they are going to run up the score.
They're not going to play nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, if the opportunity presents itself to score another touchdown and drive another dagger into the heart of the 49ers, they're going to do it. And so if that opens up the opportunity for Goff to throw a couple extra touchdowns in there, I think that's going to happen as well. And then, as you said, Kittle, he's what we got right now. And, he's been locked in 50-plus yards for Kittle every week. He's so studly right now. And, there's just no slowing him down. So that's a pretty safe bet, pretty sure bet. We've hit that multiple times on our card, so I feel pretty good with that. So there weren't even any Debo bets to bet this week. So
geez, that's funny. Yeah, not a particularly flashy ticket, but nonetheless, we wanted to give you all some of our thoughts for betting, even though, again, half the games are already done by the time you listen to this. We 2 on Christmas, 1 yesterday.
Yeah. And just to recap, Dan, because I don't know that we mentioned it, but our ticket from last week, we actually didn't do too terrible on. We missed Josh Allen going for over 200. We missed on Jordan Love going for over 200. And then we got screwed with Jalen Hurts getting hurt. And that blew up the big part of our ticket. But we hit on everything else. So we're
not terrible. That's a pretty
no. So I mean, it was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I mean, it was a fairly long parlay list, and we still almost hit on it. So it wasn't bad.
Hey, If we hit week 1 and week 18, and that's it. Or no, this is week 17.
Yeah.
If we only hit twice, I mean, hey, it's still fun. That's about what the real average is. So
Yeah. Yeah. Oh wait, no, I didn't. That was different. Sorry, that was my own ticket that I read off. We missed on Lamar because he had the kneel down.
That's right. I stopped paying attention after that because I was so pissed about that.
We missed on Lamar because he had the kneel down. We missed on Hurts because he got hurt, and then we missed on the Giants spread. We hit on everything else. So we had
I take the L for the Giants spread, which I was also super pissed about.
So we had a 10-leg ticket and we only missed like 3 legs, so it wasn't too bad.
Not too bad.
And the Hurts injury is nothing you can predict and nothing you can help. So
yeah, that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
And speaking of the fun, please be responsible. I'm terrible at reminding you to be careful. So ignore that it says week 16. You should be careful every week.
Yeah, just change it to say every week, Dad. Every week.
Here, I'll do this for. It's funny. I don't know. We'll still figure out some. Some parlays.
We'll do something degenerate for next week, but yeah,
we'll still figure it. We'll be degenerate during the playoffs probably too.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, to talk about the game for this week, just to add on a little bit. I mean, I said a little bit in Monday/Tuesday's show, but I mean, they should just rest everybody. I mean, there's just no reason to play everybody. The season's over, everything's done, and with the exception of, I'm sure, the NFL whispering in their ear that they need to play their players and they need to play their starters, I wouldn't do it. So I mean, like, if you want to have Kittle come out and play a series and then be like, oh yeah, he's having a hammy, his hammy's acted up, he's not coming back in, and you want to have Warner have a knee issue or his foot's acted up or whatever, and he's not coming back in. And I mean, if you want to play these games or whatever, I mean, that's fine too. But I mean, I get that you want to play for pride and you want to play for all that stuff, and I mean, I do understand that, but I don't know. To me, that's how does the phrase go? Pound sense and penny foolish, or however. I don't know.
I have no idea what.
I'll look it up. There's a saying that's something like pound foolish, penny knowledge, something. I don't know. I'll look it up. But it's old, Dad. It's an old phrase. We back in the olden country used it.
Gotcha. When you were churning butter and you had to go to the river and all that.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like I said, I get it. Like, I understand wanting to play and sort of defend your home field and all that stuff. But gosh, I'm just going to be so absolutely devastated if, Kittle goes across the middle and, gets tackled low by somebody and it's not like a bad thing. It's not like they're trying to hurt him. That's where you got to hit guys now to tackle him, because you can't hit him up high. So, somebody goes and hits Kittle low and blows up his knee. Oh my gosh, here we are in week 17 in a meaningless game that doesn't matter for anything, and Kittle gets hurt and hurts his knee, and now he's going to miss, how much of the regular season next year, and how does this complicate his contract situation for next year? And it's just, I don't want any of that, man. So, and I'm not wishing an injury on Kittle by any means. Please don't. Yeah. I just picked that scenario, right? But I mean, like,
it's a real fear. I completely agree. Like, I'm not so worried about him or Debo. I'm worried about like the freak accidents are going to be freak accidents. And
well, what happens if someone crushes Purdy?
That's what I was going to say, because our offensive line, what we can tangibly like have the most fear about is that offensive line is awful now. Trent Williams got shut down. Jalen Moore went to IR. Spencer Burford is not likely to play. He was very limited in practice this week. So that means it's going to be Nick Zakelj at guard and some dude we just signed off the street. I don't remember his name, but he's going to be a left tackle, fresh with us. And then our right side is the right side. Like, oh my God, Pooney's been great. And McKivitz has been better than last year, but he's still very mid. And then I don't know, Brindle's going to get cut, like, because I don't understand the metrics, but I hear the repetitive noise week after week after week after week that he's not cutting it as a center.
Yeah.
Like but again, the offensive line on the left side is a dude that just signed with the team on Monday, and the third, arguably fourth swing tackle playing guard. Like, Purdy's blind side is going to be the target of so much. And then he can't even hand off the ball because hopefully Correndo still plays. Like, he's kind of 50-50. And then Patrick Taylor is like, there's a reason there's a reason he would have been on the practice squad, and he's our fifth string running back. Like,
Yeah.
he's okay, but like, he's not, when you get down to the fifth string, like, I'll take it. Like, he's not the worst, but like, again, it's a fifth stringer. Like, Purdy, they're gonna sell out to stop Patrick Taylor and then just send all the blitzes on the left side. So yeah, Purdy getting hit is what I'm worried the most about.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you on that. I mean, like, the last thing that you want to have happen is Purdy get some sort of shoulder injury or, arm injury or whatever.
Kittle's ACL won't pop if the ball won't get to him because Purdy's getting thrown to the ground.
Yeah. But I mean, Purdy gets some sort of arm injury, and then now you're going into the offseason trying to negotiate a Superman contract for, a guy who is supposed to be your franchise quarterback, but now has had two major, in our hypothetical here, has had two major arm injuries. And, what sort of money do you pay a guy like that? Right? I mean, yeah. So I'm of the mantra that you just sit everyone. I realize that they're not going to. I realize that they won't. I really think if this game wasn't on Monday Night Football, I think that they would.
Yeah. So because right now Bosa wasn't even on the injury report, if I remember right, or he was like full the whole week.
Yeah.
So basically, like, no more health issues. Warner was still going to play. Hufanga was still going to play. Jair looked like he was trending to be playing, even though Mustafa's ahead of him. All the secondary looked like they were going to play. Green, Ward, and Demo. So,
yeah, that's why I keep wondering if they're going to do kind of like either like I was saying, like, oh, my hamstring, oh, I got hurt, or oh, my ankle, oh, my foot, oh, it hurts, and come out that way.
Yeah.
Or if the game gets out of hand by halftime, or certainly by some point in the third quarter, they just pull all the starters, because I anticipate this is going to be ugly as can be by middle of the third quarter, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm anticipating it being, 28-10, something like that by middle of the third quarter, if not worse.
I think 10's general. I think scoring. I will join you on the pessimism train. It'll be impressive if we score 10 points in this game. Like, so, maybe we score 17 because of garbage time and they pulled their starters.
No, anything but 17 points again, man. If we lose another game on 17 points, I might have a freaking seizure. I can't take another loss on 17 points, Dan.
But hey, 17 points in garbage time is different than 17 points at halftime and then we can't score again.
No, I just don't want 17 points again. If I see another 17 points on the scoreboard, I might just shatter. So no, I mean, yeah, I think it's just going to be an out and out route. I've bet it accordingly.
It's going to be ugly. I completely agree with you. I predicted last week was going to be like very boring and sloppy. This game, I'll agree, is going to be just a bloodbath.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions, we talk a lot about, playing for pride and, playing to defend your home stadium and all that stuff. Man, the Lions are playing angry. The Lions are mad. The Lions are angry. The Lions are upset. The Lions are pissed off that we stole the Super Bowl trip from them last year. And they don't care that we're injured. They don't care that we're hurt.
They don't care that they're injured.
Yeah. They don't care the circumstances of the season. They are coming in here for revenge. And they are coming in here to kick our teeth in. And they are going to make sure that we do not come back and win the game this time. So they are not going to ease up off the gas. They're not going to slow down in any way, shape, or form, because you're going to be up 28-7 or whatever, and football people are going to be like, well, why are you still trying to score another touchdown? And when you're up 28-7, Dan Campbell's going to be like, well, we were up 21 points in the NFC Championship game, and they came back and beat us then. So got to keep pouring on the gas and keep scoring points, because you never know if they're going to come back or not. I mean, and he's completely...
How dare you ask fourth down Cam? How dare you ask fourth down Dan if why he's running up the score? How dare you?
Right. But I mean, it's a completely legitimate question, but also a completely legitimate answer too. So I mean, you got to just give it to the guy and be like, well, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
It sets a tone to the league too. There's the emotions that are isolated to us. They want the revenge, and the Detroit fans, they want revenge, but it keeps that tone set that we don't care that we have 20 defensive players on IR and David Montgomery. We're still the number one seed. We still want to win the Super Bowl, probably against the Chiefs, because the football gods hate us. So
yeah. So like I said, I think this is going to be a real butt whipping. I'm disappointed that it's on national TV for all of my friends and family to see, because then they call me and message me and text me, and then at least I'm off work still, so the people at work aren't like, oh yeah, you're the 49ers guy, aren't you? Yeah, well, your team really got their ass kicked last night. I'm like, yeah, they did, yeah. So at least I don't have to deal with that this week. But yeah, I mean, it's just sad. It's just unfortunate. It's where we are, but this to me is just like the Buffalo game. Exactly like the Buffalo game, minus the snow, obviously, but just like the Buffalo game. Buffalo is up here, we're somewhere. I'll put these a little closer together. Buffalo's up here, we're somewhere down here. The Lions are up here, we're still somewhere down here. The gap between these two levels is really big, and Big Brother is going to just beat up on Little Brother, and it's going to be ugly this week.
Yeah. It will be. I have
nothing. And mom and dad are not going to save them.
No, not at all. I do have one thing that I wanted to do real quick. Because what else is there to say other than they're just going to get killed? I do want to shout out one of our dedicated fans and our Dolphins insider. He sent me this after the game, and we didn't read it on Monday, or I didn't read it on Monday, and Trevor, yes, I'm terrible at messaging you back on Facebook Messenger. I should just give you my number. But I want to read his little notes on here from your dedicated Miami superfan. It was a good game, but the Miami win condition was their defense had to stop. Sorry, but the Miami win condition was their defense had to stop you at 17 points. Had you scored?
The 17 points! No!
Had you scored another touchdown and taken the lead, we might have crumbled like always. But instead, the defense stepped up and continued their streak of getting hot as of late versus sub 500 teams. That's cool. When are you going to beat a 500 team? Yeah. But we didn't face the full cast, so it wasn't challenging as it should have been. Yeah, it's not a bad summation, Trevor. I'll give you that.
The 17 points again. Everyone knows it's our kryptonite. If we get to the 17 points and you can just hold us there, you win no matter what happens.
Yeah. And Trevor, I'll message you when I'm done taping to tell you about this. Yeah, apologies for being very bad at getting back to you on Messenger. But Eric, I wanted your reaction to that because he is a Dolphins fan, and that was you're not wrong, Trevor. 17 points and you will win.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. Oh no. Everyone knows.
Oh, that's so funny.
No, that was a pretty good. Yeah, I mean, that was a good summation of the whole thing. I mean, he's right. It's exactly where we are. So that was an interesting stat, though, that they can't beat anybody that's above 500.
Yeah, no, and they can't. It's the opposite of Love, where Love will do awesome during Toyotathon, and Tua can't. Tua's terrible in December.
Well, I'm interested in the I mean, as interested as anybody can be in the Dolphins and Browns on Sunday, but I'm interested to see how that game goes because the Dolphins obviously need to win, but they're way, way, way too far north for them to have any skill and success. But they're playing a team that's way under 500 and not very good. So I don't know what to make of the two certainties in Dolphins football, right? Where we always beat a 500 team, but we also can't play above the Mason-Dixon line.
What's gonna get? We're above the Mason-Dixon line in the cold, but we're also playing someone awful.
Yeah, so I'm totally intrigued to see what happens with that particular game because I just don't know which immovable force or unstoppable force or immovable object is going to win in that particular instance.
That's hilarious. I didn't think of that. I didn't pay that close to the. I just kind of went off of yours because you're really good at structuring like a good base for the parlay. I didn't. That's hilarious. I really am curious who's going to win that game. Like,
yeah, I'm not gonna.
I told you Miami because I didn't register though the cold versus a terrible team. I just saw Miami. I just saw Miami versus the Browns. I was like, Miami, duh. Like,
yeah. Well, no. See, that's not just a duh. It's not a given. They're way too far north. Now, if it was in Miami, I would grant you that would be a definite Miami victory. However, they're up too far north, so I don't know what to make of that.
All right, and we're back. Sorry about that glitch, of course. My computer doesn't hate me that much this week, but
that's
still.
So, well, yeah, that seems like a good place to wrap it up and roll the sponsor and all that jazz.
Yeah, once we start talking about the Browns and the Dolphins, I mean,
yeah,
we're clearly out of Niners.
But it is an interesting thought.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I agree. We need to give a shout out one more time. Going on 2 years with us, Royal Retros are wonderful sponsors there. Whether you are looking for a football jersey, a basketball jersey, or a jersey of any of the major sports, go visit royalretros.com. They will hook you up. And if you are a Bay Area fan like we are, check out the Candlestick collection specifically. It's curated with us in mind. And when you find something that you like, use the promo code Shady Sports and you'll get 10% off of your entire order. It was good for Christmas. If you have a late Christmas present, go ahead and get 10% off. Save yourself a little bit of money to go along with to try and negate the shame for getting a gift late. But again, it's from
the shame of a late gift.
But hey, 10% off still, and you get that with that promo code Shady Sports at royalretros.com. Again,
these reads are clearly live. I love it.
Yeah. Oh no, they've been live the whole year you've been with us. They've been in the 2 years.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, I've never scripted any of these.
Oh wow! I mean, like you usually do it, and it's pretty much the same, like every time. So I thought that you wrote it down.
Once you've done it enough, like same with James. Well, James, I know James has notes that I wish I had because I'm terrible at the next read. But no, I've done it enough and enough and enough. It's like I memorized a script. I didn't actually have a script. I don't know. I've heard enough ad reads that something finally stuck. To like, this is how you do an ad read. Me undies.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, anyway, guys, royalretros.com. Use promo code Shady Sports and get 10% off of your entire order. Go get yourself an authentic throwback jersey today. I almost said an authentic robot jersey. My brain is broken. But it's not broken. Our Bonfire website where we're selling t-shirts, and we were inspired to sell t-shirts because of, at the time, how terrible the owner Daniel Snyder was of the Washington Commanders. And we are keeping this tradition going because, of course, another owner stepped right in, David Tepper, the minority owner. I don't believe he's a minority. He might still be a minority owner of the Texans. But that guy literally just got a slap on the wrist. But I actually didn't follow up if he's still an owner or not. And then Jim Irsay, but to a much lesser degree, but still kind of problematic in his own right. Basically, what we see with these owners is that they need to be held to the same standards as players. So we started this hashtag owner accountability, owner standards over player standards, hashtag owner accountability. And in part of this, we have created t-shirts on bonfire.com and we have been selling them. And we don't want any proceeds from these shirts. All the proceeds are going to Mountain Comprehensive Care Center in Kentucky. And Mountain Comprehensive Care Center helps women in abusive relationships or having some hard times. And they're an awesome organization. A link to more information about them is in the show notes as well. But again, all the proceeds from these 4 shirts I'm going to show you all go to them. The first shirt is essentially the same as the ticker below us: owner standards over player standards, hashtag owner accountability. You have a variety of colors you can pick from, different styles and sizes, pricing starting at $22.99. Obviously varies from style and size to size. The next shirt is our cover art. If you just are a fan of the show and want to wear our cover art, you can do that with this t-shirt. Again, pricing starting at $22.99, and all the proceeds are going to Mountain Comprehensive Care Center. We call this one our alternate logo with the goalpost and the peanuts on it. This is an awesome shirt. James rocks this every now and then here on the show. And same great quality, same great pricing. Again, starting at $22.99. It looks best in the red, by the way. I would not recommend this in the blue, but hey, whatever floats your boat. And then the next one is our unofficial mascot, a peanut eating a bowl of peanuts, wearing his hat in 3D glasses to really feel like he's at the game. And just patiently waiting for everybody to get healed up and just get to the offseason at this rate. We all know what's coming against the Lions on Monday Night Football. But yeah, same deal as all the other shirts. Pricing starting at $22.99, and all the proceeds go to Mountain Comprehensive Care Center. Information about them and the Bonfire Store, again, are in the show notes below. Eric, we got the Lions kicking off, or not the Lions. We got the people listening to us will already know what the score is, but we will be excited to see if the Seahawks beat the Bears or not in Chicago. And then just, yeah, we're a week away. This is the first year of the show that we were terrible, and we'll get a more nuanced, like, where did it all go wrong once we get to the playoffs, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. We've kind of beaten this horse, but we play the Lions on Monday Night Football, and it's probably going to go bad.
Yeah. 3 pieces of items in the news. Chargers rule out Gus Edwards for this Saturday's game, and J.K. Dobbins is questionable because remember he had the MCL sprain. So no. I don't know who's going to be at running back for the Chargers this week. This is a win and in game for the Chargers this week, so they're struggling a little bit.
That literally ruins Jim Harbaugh's game of run the crap out of it.
Yes. Kenny Pickett is ready to go for this Sunday's game. If Hurts cannot play, Jalen Hurts remains in concussion protocol and has yet to practice this week, which I wish I would have read that before we made our parlay bet.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So that might not go out. So I still think the Eagles will win, but would feel a lot better if Hurts was playing. And then in the final news segment, in the ultimate bit of ring chasing that one could possibly do, Teddy Bridgewater has unretired after winning a high school football title and signed with the Detroit Lions to be the backup quarterback for Jared Goff.
To be fair, he was with the Lions when he retired, so it's not like he has some ties to Dan Campbell, but nonetheless, very ring chasey still, I agree.
I mean, when you sign with the best team in the league at week 17, it's pretty ring chasey to me. At
least it's not as, he has a history with them at least. Like,
okay. Does he come back and sign with them if they're 4-12 at this point in time in the season? I don't think he does.
Well, no, of course.
So, I mean, it's pretty ring chasey. I don't know how you can feel good about that. And you're even just the backup quarterback. So, I mean, like, you're still not even really doing anything. You're just holding the clipboard the whole time. But you just won a Super Bowl ring. So, okay.
Did you see the rumor that the Dolphins, if we lost or if we beat them, they would have considered releasing Calais Campbell so he could have signed with either the Lions or the Chiefs?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like,
wow.
I don't know if I mean, I'd imagine they still do that if the day their playoff hopes are gone, which I don't know if can you sign with the team if it's after week 18? I don't know. That'd be very.
I don't know how that works.
I would not be mad. I would not be mad for Calais Campbell to ring chase though, given how old he is.
I like Calais Campbell. He seems like he's been a pretty quality NFL guy.
He won Man of the Year. Like it's he's I don't know. I didn't like him obviously when he was with the Cardinals, but
yeah,
But no, obviously he clearly is a really, really good guy since he won Man of the Year.
Well, okay, so speaking of Man of the Year, right? Who's the guy that got nominated for Man of the Year for us? I don't know him at all.
Curtis Robinson. He's a special teamer and really deep backup.
Okay, because I saw it get announced and I was like, huh? I was like, I don't even know who that guy is. Was he I had no clue.
He's very deep in the depth chart, and I believe he's a linebacker. I think.
I was so confused. Like, do we not have any prominent stars that do really good stuff for the community? Like, come on, guys, you guys need to step it up.
Let's well, I'm surprised that Kittle wasn't nominated, but Kittle was our because we do one for the military month too. Yeah, he's a linebacker. He's deep in the depth chart as a linebacker.
Okay.
But whatever our war one is, that's what Kittle was nominated for. Our Warriors. I'm completely butchering that, so I'll stop. It was something in military month though.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, that's cool for him. I'm glad for him. That's a great honor, and I'm glad that he has it. But I was still just like, I don't know who you are, dude.
Yeah.
But
Well,
you know what? He'll probably be on the field on Monday.
yeah, no kidding. DFF is probably going to sprain his foot again, and then it's literally him.
Yeah. So
Hey,
well,
we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys. Continue to have a happy holidays. We will see you one more time before New Year's to assess the damage of the Lions game, and yeah, hopefully all this hits. Hopefully you all continue to stay warm and safe as the year comes to an end. And yeah, just cheers, everybody. Outro music, River Road by Justin Youth. Let's try to cover the spread, if nothing else.
yeah. Go Niners, cover the spread or not, because I have a lot of money on you not doing it.
We'll catch y'all on Tuesday.
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road, they love the way you whining.